Assalamualaikum. This is Bilal here. Welcome to my show. It's basically a sneak preview of my show. Just want to give you a taster today of what to expect in future. But anyway, let's go ahead with this preview. I want to introduce you to Toyib Mukim today. He's a very active guy in the Muslim community, and he's going to tell us about the Khilafah conference on the 7th of July, Manchester. Assalamu alaikum, Toyib.
Walaikum salam, Bilal.
Okay, so Toyib, don't know where to start really. There's a lot happening this month. We got the Stoke exhibition for non-Muslims in Stoke-on-Trent,
Yep.
or even all around is it for everyone, is it?
It's in Stoke-on-Trent for all non-Muslims, yes.
Okay, and then tomorrow there's a protest going on with regards to Syria. So there's a lot of things happening locally and on a global level as well, with regards to what's happening in Syria and the Arab upspring, which everyone's talking about. As I understand, there's a conference, as I said earlier, on the 7th of July. So what I'd like to ask you is, what is this conference about? Okay, and I want you to tell us really that why should the Muslims and the youth especially, because this is more for the youth, you know, the people I'm targeting with this video is going to be the youth. Why should the youth feel it necessary to come to this conference? Take it away, Doyle.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jazakallah Bilal. With regards to this conference in Manchester on the 7th of July in Usmania Banqueting Hall in Manchester from about 11:30 till about 6 p.m. The reason for this conference is because the Muslim Ummah, her thinking, European-wide, UK-wide, globally, her thinking is alive. She's actually starting to think about Islam, her problems, and how Islam exists in solving her problems in every aspect of her life. So it was a basic demand at the beginning. The Muslims demanded a better way of life. Under the old regimes, the Arab dictatorships, she's kind of removed the shackles of fear in the Muslim world, and now she's looking at the horizon in a new way. She wants to live the way she should be, in honor and with dignity. She's had enough of the failed Western institutions, and she's had enough of the failed collaborators of the West, in the form of Arab dictators like your Hosni Mubaraks and your Ben Alis, and at the moment this Alawi Bashar al-Assad, who's killing Muslims in Syria. So the Muslim Ummah, she realizes that she has one call, and that's Islam, generally Islam. However, politically her call must manifest in the form of a political solution, and the only political solution that we know as Muslims is the Caliphate. So the discussion will be about how the Caliphate, the Khilafah, is a correct manifesto for change and giving her her dignity and resolving her life's problems again, whether it's economics, whether it's taxation, whether it's how to interact with women, or how to interact with the European countries. Islam provides a solution to these problems. One thing that I'd like to say is, it's very unfortunate, Bilal, that in Egypt, for example, Ikhwan al-Muslimin, which is a massive Jamaat, very popular amongst the Muslims. The youth had their hopes pinned on people like Mohammed Morsi, who was the candidate for Egypt. The Muslims had their hopes pinned upon these people, what we called IPINOs, PINOs. Islamic politicians in name only, Bilal, because they've not brought anything new which is from Islam to the current problems, the crises in the Muslim world. I mean, Ikhwan al-Muslimin said at the beginning, we don't want to take part in elections, we don't want to do anything with the revolution. Then they were pushed forward as people who were potentially bringing solutions to the people's problems.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, Bilal, they've offered no solution which is practical or from Islam. They've only compromised on old regime tactics, with regards to tourism, with regards to recognizing certain nations who have also always been oppressive to the Muslims. So it's a shame that the Muslim organizations, Bilal, have not homed in to solve the problems of the Muslims. So Muslims pinned their hopes on these people, and these people are not offering anything other than old guard forms of kufr, secular liberal views.
Okay, we're a bit short on time.
Sorry.
So if you want to move on to advertising the conference and addressing the youth, why do you think they should basically book a day off or whatever it is they're doing and come to this conference? Why is it important for them to come?
Bilal, when I was when I was abroad in Pakistan in 2003, I met a lot of Muslims from Europe in Pakistan, and they were buying land, they were buying property, they were investing their money in Pakistan under Musharraf at the time, the so-called savior of the Muslim world, because they believed that this is a man that we can actually invest in. Why? Because he's going to bring he's going to turn a new leaf for Muslims in Pakistan, as an example. The reason why the youth have to be aware of this is this, of this conference and the current event is this, Bilal. The youth of today are going to be settling down tomorrow. They're going to be having children, etc. And their children are going to want to invest and have a better way of life. We, second generation youth, our parents came to this country for a better way of life. So they could have a better economic stability, a better dignified and honourable life generally. And we were born here and we lived out, we lived in the Western world, and we saw certain cracks and flaws in the man-made, secular, Western, liberal, capitalist system. It's not working. It's not working for our youth socially. It's not working for us economically. With regards to the fear factor, it exists in Europe. Islamophobia is on the rise. Muslim youth, what do they do? What do? They need to start thinking about their prosperity, their future, security, their women, their children. And it's only the Caliphate, the Khilafah, that can resolve the issues of the Muslim youth, the elders, the Muslim sisters who are screaming in Syria, the millions of Muslim voters, potential voters in Egypt who want to change to their current circumstances, whether it's Algeria, whether it's Libya, whether it's Jordan, Lebanon. Muslims have only one way to solve their problems, and that's the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And political Islam manifests itself in the form of a caliphate, and the caliphate solves your problems: taxation, energy issues, resources, work for the youth. There's mass migrations of Muslims from Somalia, Ethiopia, Albania, Kosovo to the Western world. What for? Better way of life. Islam can offer them a better way of life. They just need to realize that it's the Islamic Caliphate and not Western secular liberalism or capitalism that will solve their problems.
Okay. I think what we'll do now, we'll get you to read out the address. But there was a question, well, in all honesty, I think we haven't really got the time, and it's a question that could actually be answered at the conference even. The question was that, okay, so Khilafah is something in the future, it's a long-term solution. Why shouldn't we do things in the short run, like what's happening in Egypt? They are doing something good for the Ummah. They're standing in elections and so forth. How do you feel? Do you think we should try to address this question right now? Could you answer it in 60 seconds? If not, we'll leave it, let people come to the conference.
Khilafah is not a long-term solution.
Okay.
Ramadan is not a long-term solution. When it comes, it's time to fast.
Yeah.
Salah is not a long-term solution. When it's time to pray, you pray. You do your wudu, azan, iqama, you pray. Issue of Khilafah is the implementation of Islam in your current life's affairs. Whether it's land reform, or taxation, or dealing with non-Muslims, non-Muslim citizens, non-Muslim entities who are close to you, who are not close to you. Islam solves these problems. Islam talks about your relationship with non-Muslims, women, your relationship with regards to the resources, who controls the resources, the distribution of wealth in Islam, zakah, sadaqah, company law, taxation. These are not long-term solutions, Bilal. They're ready to be implemented today. These should have been implemented yesterday. Ikhwan al-Muslimin and these big Apinos, Islamic politicians in name only, they have mismanaged the opportunity that was given to them. They have, if you like, they have either compromised or they are working in cahoots with the old regimes with regards to making Islam a far-off entity. Islam is ready to be implemented today, and Hizb ut-Tahrir we got manifestos. We've got constitutions which are from Quran and Sunnah, which resolve people's problems practically. This is what needs to be done. No more hiding behind closed curtains. The Ummah, she's aware that Islam is alive and Islam is kicking. and Islam is for the here and now. And if those politicians cannot bring it now, then they need to move and give way to those people who can come with that. And at the moment, it's the people who have got the ideological understanding of Islam. It's here. It can be implemented today. The conference will kind of demystify some of the lies and the myths that Islam is a long-term thing, non-Muslims don't allow it, it's bad for tourism, it's bad for business. This is a lie. It's always been the case, Bilal.
Okay, wow. Quite mind-blowing. No, don't stop the record button. Okay, could you read the address out to us, and after that pass me the mic?
Okay, inshallah. The conference, and all the youth should be coming to these conferences, alhamdulillah, whether you're with any jamaat or whether you're not, whether you're practicing or not. It's a political issue and a discussion that's not going to go away. It's here today and it's going to get worse and worse if we leave it and we don't treat it with the caliphate. The Manchester Arab Uprising Khilafah is going to be on the 7th of July, which is a Saturday. It's going to be in Usmania Banqueting Halls, 39 Varley Street, Miles Platting, Manchester. M408EE is the postcode. Tickets are going for £10 and there's going to be food and refreshments available. Everybody should come. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter about your background. It doesn't matter even if you're practicing. It doesn't matter which jamaat you are, if you're with an Islamic organization. Just come and listen. By Allah, people are being massacred as we speak. Massacred. Women are screaming. Where is Mu'tasim Billah? Where is the helper who can help with this? Where are the Ansar? We need to be at least on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Bilal. The one thing we can say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is this: oh Allah, I heard the call for a political solution for the Muslim lands, and at least I gave ear, Ya Allah. And if it makes sense, thumbs up. If it doesn't make sense, ask questions and keep banging your heads until it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, subhanallah, that means we're all in trouble. It'll make sense, inshallah. Youth have got to come, because the youth of today are the future of tomorrow.
Ya Allah!